Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is the case of the Idaho. This is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions. The gag orders has been finally taken off, so all the reports are coming out. This was on the 7th of 8th, 2025. Pay attention. That's May 2025. Incident number 22-MO9903. Sequence number 311. Name Andrew Fox. Narrative. Transfer of JD, that's Jack DeCore's fingerprints. Case 22. The officer and the detective's name is written there. On May 29th, Idaho State Patrol ISP Lieutenant Darren Gilbertson called and advised that JD was scheduled to provide fingerprints at the ISP lab in Coeur d'Alene at 1300 hours. Lieutenant Gilbertson requested that I responded to the ISP lab at that time and take custody of the fingerprints so that they could be booked into evidence at the Moscow Police Department and then be sent to the ISP lab in Boise. Interesting. I responded to the ISP lab and met with ISP staff and observed Jack D. provide the requested fingerprints. The prints were sealed in an ISP envelope by ISP staff and provided it to me. So they sent it back to him with the evidence tape. I transported the envelope immediately back to the Moscow Police Department where it was secured in an evidence transfer locker. So let's try and summarize this and understand it well. Is Detective Gilbertson trying to say that Jack DeCore, Kaylee's former boyfriend for over 5 years, he was even the neighbor of the victims, he lived 1 minute away from them, and the most important thing, Kaylee and Maddie called Jack DeCore, Jack D, over 10 times that night. 2:52 was the last phone call from Madison's phone to Jack D. From Kaylee's phone to Jack D. And then 2:53 is when you hear a female yelling, "Stop it, stop." So I believe the unalivings of Kaylee and Maddie happened right after the call they made to Jack D. Now my question is, Detective Gilbertson, why would you take Jack D, who was supposed to be one of the people of interest, who was very important in the timeline because Maddie and Kaylee kept on calling him? Whether he's innocent or not, his name has been mentioned so much. That night, he was with the girls at the corner club. Why didn't you find it necessary to take his fingerprints at once? Did you even check to see if his hands had cuts? Because that's what the college students were saying, and that's what the pictures show. The pictures in the beginning that was on his TikTok and everywhere, and the pictures we saw of Jack D, his hand was inflamed. There's this new YouTube creator who's been talking basically about my clips that I spoke about Jack D. and she was just being negative. It looked like a personal attack. But what she doesn't understand is when people start joining the case very late and they miss the most important things in the beginning, then it's a problem for them to catch up. Jack D is an important person in this case. The look Steve G gave Jack D was frightening. Kaylee's brother, Kaylee's younger sisters were giving him really bad stares too when he was at the stage. The only one who used to defend Jack D is Alivira and the mother. Why was Jack D ruled out the loss? Is an important question. Where was Jack D that night? Let's start by that. Where were you, Jack D, that night? Why did you look so inflamed, your hands? So the police did not even take fingerprints of Jack D. And now we are finding out that Jack Showalter, his doe, had blood. So we have one Jack that fingerprints wasn't taken, the other Jack that there's red liquid, dry red liquid on his doe, allegedly. Why didn't they take the fingerprints early? Why were they sending it down to Boise? Why did they ask them to take it in Coeur d'Alene? I guess because Jack D lives there. But why was there so much transfers of his fingerprints, and why wasn't it taken on the 13th of November, 2022? My question is, did you all even see Jack D? Detective, did you all have an interview with him face to face, or was it over the phone? Since everyone went home for Thanksgiving. Make this make sense. I am shocked. What a disappointment. This whole case was not handled well, in my opinion. Jack D was sitting and talking last to Kaylee and Maddie before they went to the grub truck. What happened there? Why didn't he go with them to the grub truck? Was it because he was really going to work early? And why didn't he call Maddie and Kaylee's mom to tell them about the quadruples? Isn't that strange? Steve says that Jack D and Kaylee were dating over 6-7 years, but it was 5 years. Let's even give them 5 years. Isn't that enough time to get to know the family so well? Why didn't Jack D call Kaylee's parents and Maddie's parents? And when Steve G says that the police were aware that Jack D was sleeping and his phone, his pillow movements that he was tossing up and down shows that. No. I could put my phone device under anyone's phone and it'll still vibrate, or it'll still show that somebody is lying on the bed. But it doesn't show that it's Jack D unless they had a camera on him. I don't even understand why the G family have been so, let's say, confused about the feelings with Jack D. In the beginning, Steve looked like he wanted to unalive him. And towards the end, Jack D became the best friend. But why wasn't there any fingerprints of Jack D taken? Fingerprints should have been taken of all of them who were standing and talking to Kaylee and Maddie, socializing with them from the corner club to the grub truck to even 1122 King Road. We don't know if there was a party or gathering at home. I've always said I believe there was a gathering that turned wrong when it came to Ethan and Zana. And I actually found out that Adam Lauder wasn't the bartender, he was the bouncer that night. So I'm sure he was the one who was throwing out people who are misbehaving, like Jack D. And the guy that was mentioned on the article, the reports that have come out. I believe his name starts with C or CJ. So people just stand around, it looks like, at the corner club. But we have Adam Lauder here. We have Jack D, Maddie, Kaylee, and Showalter. We have Jovito at the corner club too. That's why I believe everything started from the corner club. Pay attention. Showalter got kicked out to the corner club. He must have stood outside and waited for the girls. He started walking down with them to the grub truck. He wasn't only escorting them or walking down with them. He passed a threat. He threatened Maddie and Kaylee. He said, "You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie." He didn't say, "You know they could get you for that," or "they would get you." He said, "You know that we are going to get you for that, Maddie." So what did Maddie do? Did Maddie flush $75,000 worth of rugs, like it was said in the beginning? I showed you the grub truck. Everyone looks like they came there for business. This was about rugs, money, revenge, personal beef, frat beef. I personally don't believe that this was bigger than that. These were the college students that were all trying to act like wannabe gangsters and drillers, in my opinion. And there we have Lorch's car, white pickup vehicle going towards the corner club. Then we have this white truck at 156 at Kings Road. Quite interesting. I really wonder if David Baracho was driving the white pickup. Let's not forget him and David Lorch and David Baracho are very close, according to Ethan. So he could have easily loaned him his car. Find it interesting that Jack D, his uncle, drives a big black truck. I wonder if it was the same truck that was driving at 301 at Taylor Avenue that came down from King Road side. Or was that DM, his father's car, stepmother's car? Or was that Quinn Kelly's father's car? So either the black truck belonged to Quinn Kelly, DM, or Jack D. Why is DM and Quinn Kelly lying? Quinn Kelly has said he's never been to Idaho, Moscow, but you can clearly see him entering the sliding door of 1122 King Road. Did they ever take his fingerprints? Did they take an interview with him? I don't think so, because they didn't even take Jack D's fingerprints to 25th May 2025. That was 2 months ago. And you can clearly see that's Queen Kelly and DM. That is in August. It was said that Maddie flushed rugs worth $75,000. We have Bethany Funk is Venmos that clearly states she was selling rugs in 2021 and 22. We have Emma Bailey living right behind the house. We have Caden Young, who was OD'd. Although it wasn't in Idaho, Moscow, he was from the Alpha Kappa Lambda. Did he find out something about who did the quadruples? Or did he find out that these people were distributing rugs and selling rugs in the house? These people were deleting people. Caden Young, OD'd. May rest in peace. Hannah Cleared, OD'd. May she rest in peace. And then you have Hudson Lindo that could have been OD'd and he could have been put in Paradise Creek. Made it look like he got disorientated and went there himself, which wasn't true. And let's think about one thing. If Emma Bailey and Demetrius got arrested for ODing poor Caden Young, he was OD'd of fentanyl. So these people, Emma Bailey and Demetrius, have access to selling A-class rugs. We have BK that was allegedly addicted on heroin for a couple of years. So look at the A-plus rugs that are going on here. A lot. What I'm trying to say is all these people could have, maybe the communication between them or how they could have got to meet each other was through rugs and through 1122 King Road. This was the hot spot. This was going to spoil the reputation of the university. So they needed this to be deleted completely. We can clearly see that sharp objects and knives and different kind of things were being used to unalive these victims. So we know it's more than one person who did it. We saw the figures running. There were 4 or 5. We saw the Alpha Kappa Lambda boys on Banfield. And I've always said, Alpha Kappa Lambda boys, the Banfield boys, allegedly, the Jacks and the Davids and the surviving roommates need to all be properly investigated. But I guess it's too late. It's sad, but true. They demolished the house to get rid of all the evidence as soon as possible. They were busy taking DNA evidence. 2 weeks. They were collecting DNA evidence 2 weeks after the unalivings. They were expanding the crime scene 12 days after the unalivings. But I'm shocked that they took Jack D's fingerprints recently, 2 months ago. What was the point? It's so wrong, so wrong. Please let me know what y'all think and have a lovely day.